Welcome back to Librihouse, fellow bookworms.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Today we're diving into the life of an American icon. Um, Thomas Edison.
Ah, yes. The Wizard of Menlo Park.
Exactly. And our guide is this fascinating biography by Sam Morgan, Life of Thomas Edison. Have you read this one?
You know, I haven't, but it's been on my list for a while.
Well, if you're enjoying what you hear today, be sure to check it out. You can find it on Google Play Books and Apple Books.
Oh, perfect.
Link is in the description below. And hey, while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button
Yes, please do.
so you don't miss any of our daily podcasts or book reviews. All right, let's get started. What strikes you about Edison? Besides the whole, light bulb thing.
Well, to me, Edison's story is really about turning ideas into reality. I think his journey is inspiring for anyone, whether you're an inventor or an entrepreneur, or just someone who wants to make their mark on the world.
I love that perspective. So where do we begin?
Let's start with his early life. Morgan paints a vivid picture. And from day one, you can see Edison's just relentlessly curious. I mean, this is a kid who tried to make a bird talk.
Hold on. What?
Yeah, he had some, let's just say some unconventional surgical ideas.
He tried to operate on a bird's tongue to make it talk. That's something.
Exactly. It might sound a little wild, but it shows his early scientific mind at work.
I see what you mean.
Oh, and then there's the time he almost burned down his family's barn.
Really?
Experimenting with chemicals.
Why?
This wasn't just some kid playing with fire. This was a young mind obsessed with figuring out how things work.
Right. It sounds like his parents had their hands full.
Oh, I bet.
But it's clear that these early experiences, they really shaped his approach to invention later on.
Absolutely.
He wasn't afraid to take risks. And, even more importantly, he wasn't afraid to fail.
Exactly. Every setback was a learning opportunity.
I like that.
In fact, he famously said, and as Morgan points out in the book, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work."
That's a great quote.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. So from almost setting things ablaze, Edison's journey took him to the world of telegraphy.
Yes.
How did that fascination begin?
Well, it all started with a pretty ordinary job, actually, delivering newspapers
Oh, interesting.
along the Grand Trunk Railroad. So imagine young Edison surrounded by this hustle and bustle and these telegraph stations popping up everywhere.
Aaron.
He was captivated by the operators sending messages across vast distances.
It's amazing how a seemingly mundane experience,
Yeah.
can spark a lifelong passion.
It really is. And that spark ignited a fire in Edison. He immersed himself in the world of telegraphy, and eventually,
Yeah.
he came up with his first major invention, a way to improve the telegraph system,
Really?
making it faster.
So this was back in the days before telephones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This was cutting-edge communication.
Mind-blowing. We take instant messages and video calls for granted these days.
I know.
But Edison, he wasn't content with just one breakthrough, right?
No.
He was always hungry for more, bigger challenges.
Right. He was constantly seeking out environments, that could really nurture his innovative spirit.
Which brings us to Boston.
Exactly. Boston in the mid-1800s, this hub of intellectual activity.
The perfect breeding ground for someone like Edison.
Right. He deliberately chose that environment, and he set up his first lab there
I see.
and just dived headfirst into new projects.
This is where he made significant strides with the stock ticker, right?
You got it. He saw an opportunity to improve it, and his work, it not only revolutionized how stock information was transmitted, but it also it secured him funding for a bigger lab in Newark.
It's fascinating how each success fueled the next venture.
Right.
This incredible cycle of innovation and growth. It's like he was building momentum,
Yeah.
Each invention giving him the resources and the confidence to tackle something even bigger.
Exactly.
So from Boston to Newark, and then where? What's the next stop on this electrifying journey?
Well, next we're headed to Menlo Park, New Jersey, a place that would become synonymous with Edison's name and his revolutionary approach to invention. It's here that things get really interesting.
Okay, I can't wait to hear about Menlo Park. But first, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more on the fascinating life of Thomas Edison.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the life of Thomas Edison. Before the break, we were about to step into Menlo Park, New Jersey, a place that became, kind of legendary in the world of innovation.
Yeah, Menlo Park. It wasn't just a lab. This was the world's first industrial research lab.
Wow.
A total game changer in how research and development was done.
Okay, so paint me a picture.
All right, so picture this. A dedicated space. were brilliant minds, Edison's Menlo Park wizards.
Love that.
Right. They all collaborated with a very systematic approach to invent groundbreaking technologies.
Like a well-oiled machine, churning out one invention after another.
Exactly.
So what made Menlo Park so special?
It was Edison's vision. You see, he believed in continuous innovation.
I see.
Even after a product was successful, he was always striving to make it better.
That's a great lesson for anyone, not just inventors.
Oh, absolutely.
Never settle. Always strive for improvement.
Yes.
Of all the inventions that came out of Menlo Park, the incandescent light bulb is probably the most iconic.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about its development?
It's the perfect example of Edison's tenacity. I mean, the light bulb wasn't some sudden stroke of genius. It was the result of countless experiments and failures.
Right.
As Morgan details in the book, Edison tested thousands of materials before finding the right filament.
It's amazing to think about just the sheer amount of work that went into perfecting the light bulb.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a quick aha moment.
No.
It was years of dedicated effort.
And that's another key takeaway from Edison's story. Breakthroughs rarely happen overnight. It's the dedication, the willingness to keep going even when things get tough.
Right.
That separates the dreamers from the doers.
That's good. So Edison, he lit up the world with the incandescent bulb.
Yeah.
But he didn't stop there, did he?
No, not at all.
He had a much grander vision.
Absolutely. Edison, he didn't just invent the light bulb. He envisioned an entire system. He saw the potential of electricity to transform cities, to spark a whole new industry.
Right.
And he made it happen. He built the first central power station, Pearl Street Station, in New York City.
Talk about a visionary. He wasn't just an inventor. He was building the future.
He was.
But of course, not everyone was on board with this vision, right? I mean, Morgan describes the War of the Currents, Edison's battle with George Westinghouse and Nikola Tesla over direct current versus alternating current.
DC versus AC.
Right, exactly. Fascinating how these, technological battles shaped the world we live in today.
It really is.
So was Edison on the winning side of this war?
Well, not exactly. He fought hard for his DC system, but ultimately AC, it proved to be more efficient, especially for transmitting electricity over long distances.
I see. So even geniuses can be wrong sometimes.
It happens.
But it sounds like the competition itself, it spurred innovation.
Right.
Which ultimately benefits everyone, right?
Exactly. Sometimes those clashes of ideas, they lead to breakthroughs we couldn't have imagined otherwise.
I like that. Now, while Edison's professional life was filled with dazzling success, his personal life was a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
Morgan touches upon his 2 marriages and his relationships with his children, highlighting the challenges he faced, trying to balance his relentless work with family life.
Right. It's a reminder that even brilliant minds grapple with the same human struggles.
Yeah. And, it's easy to put someone like Edison on a pedestal.
Yeah.
But he was still a person, right? At the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
His story highlights the importance of finding balance in life.
Yeah.
Even with all his achievements, there were probably times when he wished he had spent more time with his loved ones.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's not forget about Edison's impact on the entertainment industry.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't just eliminate our homes. He brought us music and movies.
That's right.
The phonograph and the motion picture camera. 2 inventions that revolutionized how we experience the world. What can you tell us about those?
Well, the phonograph, a device that could record and play back sound, it was a sensation.
Wow.
Imagine, the public's reaction to hearing their own voices for the first time.
I can't even imagine.
Or listening to music in their own homes.
Right.
It was more than a technological marvel. It was a cultural revolution.
That's incredible to think about how one invention could spawn so many others.
Right.
And completely change the way we live and interact with the world. I mean, it makes you wonder, what would our world be like without the phonograph? Or motion pictures?
Hard to imagine, isn't it?
Yeah. Edison's inventions, they weren't just gadgets. They were catalysts for profound societal shifts. And speaking of shifts, Edison's interests, they extended far beyond electricity.
Yes, they did.
Morgan dedicates a whole chapter to his ventures outside this realm.
He did.
It's fascinating to see how his, insatiable curiosity led him down so many different paths.
Right.
Okay, so where did he venture? Outside the world of watts and volts, what other challenges did he tackle?
Well, get ready for this. He was fascinated by mining.
Really? Mining? That's not what I expected at all.
Yeah, he actually established the Edison Ore Milling Company, aiming to develop more efficient ways to extract iron from low-grade ore.
Wait, so Edison was into digging for treasure?
Well, he wasn't searching for gold, but he was looking for a way to optimize iron ore extraction,
Okay.
which was crucial for the industrial boom happening at the time.
I see. So did he strike gold, so to speak?
Yeah.
With his mining ventures?
Not exactly. While his innovative spirit was definitely evident in his approach, the venture ultimately proved too expensive and complex compared to existing methods.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah, he had to shut it down.
Oh, that's a bummer. But I guess even geniuses can't win every time, right?
Exactly. But Edison's his commitment to pushing boundaries didn't end there.
Okay.
He also delved into cement production.
Smud. Really?
Yes. He founded the Edison Portland Cement Company. His goal, to improve the quality and reduce the cost of cement.
Cement. That seems like such a far cry from light bulbs and phonographs.
I know. But remember, Edison saw opportunities everywhere. He believed that improving cement production, it could have a huge impact on construction and infrastructure.
And he was right.
Yes.
So did he, revolutionize the world of concrete?
Well, he definitely made significant strides in improving the efficiency of cement production. He even designed and patented a rotary kiln.
No way.
Which is still used in cement production today.
Wow. Talk about a lasting legacy.
I know.
But even with those successes, the cement venture, it wasn't without its challenges, right?
Oh, absolutely. The cement industry was a tough market. Even with his improved production methods, the company, it faced stiff competition and ultimately struggled to achieve the same level of success he had in other fields.
Okay. It's a good reminder that even the brightest minds face setbacks.
Oh, yes.
And that success isn't always guaranteed.
Right.
So then there are his contributions to battery technology.
Yes. Edison, he believed that portable power sources, they would play a crucial role in the future.
I see the connection to his electric car work.
Right.
Was he ahead of his time?
Absolutely. He recognized the potential of electric vehicles long before they became mainstream. He invested heavily in developing a nickel-iron battery, aiming to create a more efficient and durable alternative to the existing lead-acid batteries.
Did his battery power up the electric car revolution?
Well, while his nickel-iron battery did find a niche in industrial applications, the high cost and lower energy density compared to lead-acid batteries, it kind of hindered its widespread adoption in vehicles.
So again, ahead of his time, but not a total success.
Right.
It's fascinating how we constantly look to the future, envisioning technologies that wouldn't become commonplace for decades.
It is.
What else did he tinker with?
Believe it or not, he even tried to develop a plant-based rubber source.
No way.
Yes, he experimented with goldenrod, believing it could be a viable alternative to the increasingly expensive and scarce natural rubber.
So did we end up with goldenrod tires?
Not quite. While his research did yield some interesting results, it ultimately wasn't commercially viable.
I see.
Natural rubber remained the dominant source.
Okay. It's amazing how his curiosity led him down so many different paths.
Yeah.
You'd think a mind that busy wouldn't have much time for a personal life. What does Morgan tell us about that side of Edison?
Well, his personal life was, it was just as complex as his inventions.
Really?
Yeah. He was married twice, first to Mary Stowell and later to Mina Miller. His first marriage, though, was marked by challenges.
Challenges, yeah.
Yeah, his intense dedication to work often left little room for family life. He was often absent, deeply engrossed in his projects.
Right.
So, unfortunately, this led to strain in his first marriage.
I see. It's kind of a classic tale of the driven genius struggling to balance his work with personal relationships.
Right.
Did things change with his second marriage?
Well, things were definitely different with Mina. While the demands of his work, they remain, Mina was, she was a strong and independent woman who was able to manage their household and provide support, in a way that allowed him to pursue his passions.
So a more balanced partnership?
Yes.
What about his relationship with his children?
Well, he had 6 children in total, 3 from each marriage. And while he undoubtedly loved his children, his relentless work ethic, it meant that he wasn't always as present as he might have wanted to be.
Yeah, it's a common thread we see with a lot of highly driven individuals.
Yes.
The pursuit of their goals often comes at a price.
It does.
And sometimes that price is time with loved ones.
It is.
But it's also important to remember that Edison's life wasn't all work and no play.
Mm.
I mean, Morgan highlights how he carefully cultivated his public image,
Right.
becoming known as the Wizard of Menlo Park.
Oh, yeah. The image of the solitary genius toiling away in his lab, bringing forth wondrous inventions.
Exactly.
Edison, he was a master of public relations. He understood how to leverage media attention to promote his work and,
Yeah.
solidify his place in history.
So he was a bit of a showman.
Absolutely. He knew how to create a spectacle, to capture the public's imagination. Think back to his public demonstration of the incandescent light bulb.
Oh, yeah.
That was a carefully orchestrated event,
Right.
designed to generate buzz and excitement.
I can just imagine the headlines. Edison illuminates the night. It's amazing how he understood the importance of image and perception, even back then.
Yeah. He was a master at using the media to his advantage, shaping the narrative around his work and, creating this aura of brilliance that still surrounds him today.
Absolutely. So we've explored the inventor, the entrepreneur, the family man, and the public figure.
Yeah.
What's the final takeaway? What's Edison's lasting legacy?
Edison's legacy is multifaceted. He was this relentless innovator, pushing the boundaries of technology, transforming countless aspects of modern life. But he was also a complex figure, a driven genius who struggled with personal relationships.
Right.
And whose ambition sometimes overshadowed the contributions of others.
Right. It's a reminder that even those who achieve greatness are ultimately human, with flaws and imperfections.
Yeah.
But their stories, they can still inspire us.
Absolutely.
And teach us and challenge us to think differently.
Exactly. And speaking of challenges, Edison's life, it raises a really important question.
Oh, what's that?
How do we balance the drive for innovation with the ethical implications of new technologies?
That's a great point.
Yeah,
Edison's work revolutionized the world.
it did.
But it also brought about new challenges and complexities.
Absolutely.
We have to consider the broader impact of technological advancements, both the good and the bad.
Precisely. As we enjoy the fruits of Edison's ingenuity,
Right.
we must also be mindful of the responsibility that comes with innovation.
That is a lot to think about. We're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into the life of Thomas Edison.
It's amazing to think about all the ground we've covered.
Right. I mean, from his early experiments to Menlo Park to all those ventures beyond electricity.
It's clear that Edison's curiosity never faded.
Absolutely. He was always pushing the boundaries, always looking for the next challenge. So what captivated his mind in those later years?
Batteries remained a major focus for him. He was constantly refining his nickel-iron battery design.
Always striving for improvement, huh?
Exactly. And he also kept exploring new phonograph designs. And, get this, he even started experimenting with talking pictures.
Talking pictures. Wow, so he was already envisioning the future of film.
It's like he had this incredible ability to see what was coming next.
But then, of course, World War I broke out.
Right, a very different kind of challenge emerged.
It's hard to imagine someone like Edison, a man of invention and progress, being involved in a war effort.
Well, he felt a deep sense of duty to contribute. He became the chairman of the Naval Consulting Board.
The Naval Consulting Board, what's that?
It was a group of scientists and inventors. Their job was to advise the U.S. Navy on new technologies that could help with the war effort.
So basically, Edison was a wartime tech advisor, putting his genius to work for a whole new set of problems.
Exactly. And they tackled some really critical projects.
Like what?
Well, they worked on developing submarine detection systems, improving torpedo mechanisms, and even finding ways to camouflage ships.
Wow, sounds intense.
Oh, it was. They even worked on developing better gas masks for the soldiers on the front lines.
It's incredible how his work had such a direct impact on the war.
His contributions during that time really showcased his versatility.
Yeah, and his dedication to using his talents for the greater good.
Absolutely.
So, from eliminating our homes to aiding in war efforts, Edison's life really did intersect with so many major historical moments. But eventually, time catches up with everyone, even a visionary like Edison. What can you tell us about his final years and his enduring legacy?
Well, in his final years, he never really stopped working. That curiosity, that drive to solve problems, it never left him.
A true innovator to the end.
Absolutely. And when he passed away in 1931 at the age of 84, there was this outpouring of grief and tributes from all over the world.
People recognized that his work had truly changed the course of history.
They did. And that impact, it continues to this day. Think about it. Electricity, sound recording, motion pictures. These are cornerstones of modern life, and they were all touched by Edison's work.
It's amazing to think about how much we owe to his inventive spirit and his unwavering dedication. He didn't just invent things. He transformed the way we experience the world.
And Sam Morgan's book, Life of Thomas Edison, really captures all of that. It gives you this incredible look into the mind of a remarkable man. I highly recommend it.
Me too. And to all our listeners out there, we want to hear your thoughts. What surprised you the most about Edison's life? Share your reactions in the comments below. And be sure to check out the book yourself. You can find Life of Thomas Edison on Google Play Books and Apple Books. We've got the link in the description. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Librihouse for more daily podcasts and book reviews. Until next time, keep those pages turning.